Oh, wow. You guys called me. Man, what a long day. So, what am I going to talk to you about today? Stick around. I got some real important stuff to cover for you today. And it's about an issue that keeps popping up. And if you stay to the very end, I'm going to tell you how I ended up out of a bunch of money today. But in the end, it was for a really good cause. So stick around, and I'm going to talk about roofing for you, okay? Sounds boring, but it's a really important subject. Hey everybody, it's your boy Nuke, aka Eric Hudson. And man, the days keep wearing on, and it just keeps going and going and going, and I just had to take a little bit of time out to relax. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So, got another inspection report back. Inspector went out, he's my brother-in-law and everything, and another issue just keeps popping up, and I couldn't believe I never asked this question because I keep having the same issue over and over again, and it's roofing. Something wrong with the roof. So another inspection comes back with a roofing issue. It's rare that something's not wrong with the roof, and I can't believe I never asked the question before. So I finally asked the question today. How many times when you do an inspection does a big issue come back with the roof, and it comes back and it's like about 80% of the time? I'm like, 80% of the time there's an issue with the roof. It's like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. So I started really thinking about this and looking back at previous inspections, and it's like, man, 80% of the time there was something wrong with the roof. So let's start going over some of the issues that we have with the roof, and this is just going to be real light touch at it because I'm probably going to have to end up going and talking to an actual roofing professional, because the inspector, even though they're trained on a lot of the issues that deal with the roof and how it goes on there and all that stuff, and looking at the trusses and all that stuff, they're not roofers. So we have to bring in a roofer to actually do this stuff. So I'm going to see if I can find a roofer who will actually sit down with me and talk about the deep roofing issues. But let's just go from a layman's standpoint, what myself as a realtor knows, because I'm not a roofer, and what I've learned over the years about the roofs and the issues that they have. So here in the Las Vegas area, Las Vegas North, Las Vegas, Henderson, we have two main types of roofs. Kind of like really three, but two. There's really two. If you look, most of the roofs are that little Spanish tile type roofs, and some of them are like a different type roof. Kind of looks different, but they're actually the same kind of roofs. They're really kind of cement. Well, those roofs are really designed to last almost like 40 years. So you'd think they would last a long time, but you know what? I had just the same number of issues. Matter of fact, I had an inspection on Monday. Issues with the roof. Okay. I had an inspection just a month ago. We actually canceled because of the roof. Bunch of cracks. And we had the same issue. Like after about 10 years, the roofs on those panels on those things start to crack. And it just seems to be just so common around here. It's because of the heat and the wind. They just crack. There's concrete. Look outside when you're just driving along. What do you got? Cracks in the concrete. Boom. And look at the wind. I mean, if you've been to Las Vegas, if you have not come to Las Vegas, it gets windy. Gale force winds. And it does it. I had this one, it was closed back in March. I went to a neighborhood once where, like every roof, you could see like after a big windstorm, like the tiles are knocked off the roofs, and it just gets really, really bad here. And the other type are the the traditional shingles that you see in most parts of the country. You'll find those in the older neighborhoods, and that's what the one we had today was. And the problem is it's a flipped house, and the flippers, what they do is they don't want to do a good job on the roof. They use kind of like staples to put the shingles on instead of nails, which they should be using. Oh, no. And that is what really makes it hard because of that wind. Wind's just going to come on, and the with those staples, they're not going deep enough, and the shingles never set. So, boom, big wind, which we're gonna have. We're gonna have big wind, and it's just gonna knock them off. And he said that he could see that they just kept putting them on there over and over again. And you're just gonna have that problem. So make sure that if you're looking for a house, make sure your inspector's looking for that stuff. And if you own a house, you probably already know when it's getting your shingles are getting knocked off over and over again. It's because whoever's putting them back on there is possibly a handyman, because you're trying to cheap it out. So you want to spend as little money as possible. All you're doing is spending money over and over again. It's kind of like my mother used to say. You go to the cheap place. I don't want to name names. I ain't getting myself in trouble. You go to the cheap places. Places they end with Mart and stuff, and you're buying clothes over and over again. And she would say, you go to the places, that used to like anchor malls. Do malls even exist anymore? And you have those things for years and decades. They go out of style, and you put them in the closet, and you come back again, and you're still wearing them. But the stuff from places that end with Mart, a few months later, you just throw them in the trash because they're threads. That's the difference. Sometimes you have to go for quality, and when you're trying to save a little bit of money, you're not saving anything. There's a author, Brian Tracy. If you ever look him up, he's does a lot of success coaching kind of stuff. I was listening to one of his speeches one day, and he was talking about poverty mentality. Like sometimes he was talking about how people are always trying to save a little bit of money. Sometimes you're not saving money, you're spending it, because you're spending it over and over trying to save a little bit of money. Put money into your roof and certain other items of value. And that's what I wanted to cover on that. So 80% of the roofs, according to my inspector / brother-in-law, is coming back on that. Are coming back with issues probably because of the winds, people trying to cheap things out. Don't know the full answer. I'm going to talk to a roofer on that and get that answer back to you guys. We're coming to the end of the year. Another reason I'm tired as heck is not just real estate. I'll make this subject, not subject, but like a little side thing on another video. So now to the end. So those of you who stuck around, what ended up costing me a whole bunch of money had to do with this chair. I was texting my father about it because he just had a birthday, and I sent him a present, and he was texting me back about how much he loved it. He was talking about how on point it was, and I sent him a picture, texted from this chair, and he was like, "What's that?" Because I could just see it from this portion. And then I kind of got out after I was done, because it was like my last minute when he had texted me. Shot a picture of it because I just got this chair. It was replacing my old chair from Sharper Image that I had like back when I was stationed in Hawaii. And just from texting back and forth, and I was telling him all the features on it, because it has stuff that I'd never heard of before, because it's got like a S track and a L track. You go do the research and all this stuff. And then I was telling him, hey, it was even cheaper than the last chair I had, because all this crap's made in China now. Then he was like, yeah, you got it. I'm jealous, my poor little chair. And then just mentioned that his chair didn't work anymore. Then I went, you know what? Merry Christmas. But be careful. They only deliver because of COVID. They only deliver to the end of the driveway now. So you need to find somebody to help you get it into the house. I bought him this dadgum chair for Christmas. So he'll be getting it on Monday. Aww. So it ended up costing me another chair. So he actually appreciated it. I'm all teary-eyed. So I wanted to also thank those of you who been sending out well wishes for my family who got stricken from the super spreader event. Even more have come back, with positive results. Only ones who haven't tested positive have been my parents, because they didn't go because they're old, and they don't have any young folks at home to bring it to them because they were, who went to the super spreader event. Only other folks who don't have it are an uncle and aunt who the uncle's recovering from a cancer kind of thing. So they weren't there, but their children were there, but they didn't let them in the house. As a matter of fact, the son is playing one of these Karen things. He refuses to get tested. So, and then it shows up at the house, like wants to come in. It's like, nope, don't come in this house. And it's like, oh, I know I don't have it. It's like, you haven't even been tested. So, you know how that is. They're keeping them out. So, so far, a bunch of folks got it. So far, no one has been seriously ill that I've heard of. So, still praying for them. Thanks a lot for all of those well wishes, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for those of you who've reached out to me. So, next time I'll cover some other stuff and talk about why I'm so tired, because at one point a few days ago I went 48 straight hours without sleep. And that is another story for another day. See y'all later. And bye now, because I gotta relax.